Hello, Yes Muses. How are you guys doing today? I'm Reese from Yes Supply, and I'm so excited to be hanging out with you today, talking to you about something very important, but that not a lot of people talk about, which is your habits and your programming. So if you've been somebody who's been setting big goals in your life, maybe you want to start a business or you want to change something, maybe you want to lose weight, whatever it is, and you're not able to hit your potential, you're not able to see those big changes in your life, the reason is because of your daily habits, and the reason is because of the way that you have been programmed. This also applies to you as well, as if you've started seeing a little bit of progress, but for some reason you always get dragged back to where you originally started. This has to do with where your mindset is and where your paradigms are. So I want to talk to you about that today because I think it's really, really important. And if you don't understand the deep root cause of what's holding you back and what's stopping you from achieving these big goals, if you don't understand what's been holding you back, you're never going to be able to find the solution. So I really want to talk to you about your habits and your programming, and I'm super excited to talk to you about it today. The reason that I brought this up and the reason why I was thinking about it, I was just having coffee with one of my friends and we were chatting about it, but I also see it come up with a lot of my clients. A lot of my clients come to me because they feel like their business isn't working, they're not achieving those goals, they're not getting the clients, they're not getting the sales, and most of the time, pretty much all of the time, it's not necessarily the systems, it's because the mindset isn't in the right place. And if the mindset isn't in the right place, you're thinking more about the problem than you're thinking about the solution, then you're not ever going to see those big changes that you need to make. So I know, like, whoa, this sounds super, super intense, but I'm going to break it down. I'm going to make it really, really easy for you to understand. So what I want you to think about right now is, what is your yes? What is the big thing that you want to accomplish? So stop for a second and think about that. If money was an object, if time was an object, if resources weren't holding you back, what is it that you would do? I want you to think about that for a second. And this is a really important starting place because most of the time, most people know exactly what they don't want. They don't want to keep working for that job that they hate. They don't want to keep working for that boss. They don't want to, live in the same small apartment or whatever it is. But you'll be surprised that a lot of people don't know exactly what it is that they do want. And if you don't know exactly what it is that you do want, how are you ever going to get there? So it needs to be more specific than just thinking, well, I want to be rich or I want to start a business. What I want you to do, and you can do it now or you can do it right after this call, but what I want you to do is write down specifically what exactly that you would do. And I want it to become crystal clear in your mind. If you want a new house, I want you to see the house. If you want a business, I want you to see how the business would operate and the type of people that you would want to work with. So I want you to really think about that, and I want you to have a crystal clear idea. And for me, having that crystal clear idea of the type of business that I wanted to create was the first step in me becoming successful, was the first step in me getting out of my old paradigm, getting out of my old habits, and starting to create the new habits that I needed in order to become the person that I wanted to be. So I want you to really think about that. I want you to really understand that. And so the reason why I started Yes Supply is because there were so many smart, creative, talented women, and I'm still surrounded by so many smart, creative, talented women who are so capable of achieving big things, but they're stuck in those old habits. They're stuck in those old paradigms. And so I want you to realize that whatever that goal is that you set out, whatever you just wrote down, you are capable of achieving it. If you can see anyone else doing the thing that you wish to do, growing a business, making more money, whatever that is, if you can see somebody else doing it, that is proof that it is possible. You were born with just as much intelligence, just as much knowledge, just as much capability, just as much potential. And so I want you to remind that to yourself every day. But here's where your habits, if you don't have the right habits, if you don't have the habits of success, this can hold you back. Because the thing is, whatever you spend your time doing, that's what you're going to get better at. So there's this thing, and I won't get too deep into it, but it's neuroplasticity. And essentially, the more you create a certain action, the more you do a certain type of thing, your brain gets better at it, and it becomes easier for you, and it becomes second nature. So a great way to think about this is the first time you drove a car. For any of you that drove a car, if you didn't drive a car, just work with me here. So when you first drive a car, you get into the car and you have to think, okay, I have the wheel in front of me, I have to hold the wheel, and I have the brake, and I have the gas, and I have the little gear on the side, right? And everything you have to think about step by step, and it could be really slow for you to get started, and there could be this sort of hump that you have to get over, because you're not just doing the thing, you're having to learn how to do the thing and then do the thing. But what happens is every single time that you start to do something outside of your comfort zone, something that has been scaring you for a while or something that you might have been putting off, every single time that you just take action and you do it, and you don't worry so much about if you know exactly how to do it, you just start trying, you just start experimenting, what happens is your brain actually starts to form new connections. And what happens is after you have turned it into a habit, you do it over and over again, it becomes so easy, it's second nature. And so that's how you can go from not really knowing how to drive a car, feeling really awkward or really scared driving a car, to just flying down, being able to change gears, like put your arm over the seat, whatever it is, turn the radio on while you're doing it, hopefully not Snapchatting, but you know what I mean. But like, that's how you go from having to think about stuff so mechanically to being able to do it as a habit. And I want you to recognize that this does not just apply to driving, this applies to anything. The first time you do something, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be tough, it's gonna be a little bit out of your comfort zone, but if you can change it into a habit, it will become so much easier that it will become second nature to you. And that's how you go from working a 9 to 5 and having that employee mindset to having that entrepreneurial mindset, right? And once you have that mindset, you start to put those habits into place. Doing those things that used to scare you now becomes very easy. So I remember when I was still working a 9 to 5, before I launched Yes Supply, I was like, okay, I need to sort of step in to the person that I wanted to be. I didn't expect for all the money and all the clients and all the sales and all that stuff to come to me before I was ready. I had to show the universe, and I had to step up and be ready, create the opportunities for myself, take that first step, and that's only how everything could come to me after. So what I did was I thought about, okay, if I was already successful, if I was already this leader of this huge company, how would I be acting every day? What are the sort of actions that I would be doing every day? And I started doing them. So I made sure that I stayed on top of my morning routines. I woke up every day, I visualized, I meditated, I did my affirmations. I knew that if I wanted to be leading women to have a better mindset and to be doing their personal development, I had to be the leader. I had to be at the forefront. I couldn't be telling someone to do something and then doing the complete opposite. So I had to step up and have those habits. And after 21 days, doing something that feels a little bit awkward, after 21 days, it becomes a habit. It just forms right into your mind and it becomes second nature. And you go from having to struggle to get out of bed to doing your routines to it becoming second nature and you feeling weird if you don't do them. Another thing that I did was I made sure that I was consistent for my audience. I used to show up every single day on Instagram, doing Instagram stories, checking in, making sure that I was there so that my audience knew that they could depend on me for advice, for inspiration, for tips, whatever that was. And so I didn't wait until I was successful and then start doing the habits. I started doing those habits and then I became successful. So if you're, at a point right now where you're struggling, you're not quite sure what to do, what I want you to do is think about, if I already had the success that I wanted, if I already had the business that I wanted, what would my daily actions be? How would I act? What kind of confidence would I have? What kind of conversations would I have? What kind of books would I read, right? This is important to think about, because going back to whatever you spend the most time doing, that's what you become better at. So are you spending a lot of your time just scrolling through Instagram, or are you spending your time, creating content that your perfect ideal client or customer would like to read? Think about that, because the successful people, they are not just spending all day, scrolling through Instagram, because they know that the more time they spend doing something, have the thumbs of a champion scrolling through Instagram, but are you creating something that's getting you closer to your goal? So I want you to really, really think about that. And I know it's really hard when you're first starting out, because a lot of the time you're surrounded by people who are doing the same thing as you, right? You attract what you put out. So if up to this point you've been in a situation that hasn't made you happy, you've been in relationships that haven't made you happy or made you feel held back, you're going to be surrounded with those kinds of people. So what you're going to have to do is take a big, giant step out of the current situation that you're in and into the life that you want to create. And that could mean maybe not spending as much time with these people, or if these people do not believe in your hopes and dreams or do not believe that you're capable of doing something, stepping out of that situation or stepping out of that mindset and rejecting the thoughts of your current situation and starting to bring in the thoughts of where you want to be. So if this has helped you, if this has motivated you to change your habits, change your current programming, and step into the lifestyle that you want, I want you to hit the share button. I'd love for you to share this with anybody who you think that it can help. And if you have any questions for me, I'd love for you to just send me a DM, let me know how it impacted you, and let me know if you have any questions about starting your own business and stepping out of your current situation into the life and business that you love. So it's been so much fun hanging out with you guys. My name is Reese from Yes Supply, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.